What's up, guys? I'm going to be playing the Stanley Parable, which apparently is some kind of walkthrough narrative game, and here we go. Hope you guys enjoy it.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
You have control? Okay, yeah, I got control. Anyway, guys, this is the Stanley Parable. It's a narrative walkthrough that here has a very weird game from what I've seen. Alright, so I can close doors. Can't jump.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, let's check these doors. Can I... Alright, so my office door's locked. This one's locked. Alright, so whenever he's talking... Let me search around here.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
So I think he's gonna mock whatever I'm doing, apparently. Alright, let's see. Guess I'll just keep going around and... I don't know if I'm supposed to be looking for something, or if... What's in there? Alright, so there's no one here. I think all these doors are locked. I'll just follow whatever he's saying. Suppose we go into the meeting room.
Oh. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I guess I'll go left. Alright, so all these doors are locked and... Oh, here's the meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Alright, so there's nothing... Alright, so the doors are closing behind me, I guess, so I can't go back and track back through the
Coming
building.
to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Guess I don't have an elevator in here either. Jeez. You can just walk up here through the stairs? Business time? What does that thing say? Oh, the chair's in the way. It won't let me get over there. Can't see outside either.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I guess I put that one in.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Alright, so it's basically like a story of whatever I'm doing. But also, I don't know if it's like a horror game. If there's any... Uh-oh.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oops. Alright, apparently the questions I have are going to get answered.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Did I? Is that where I walked? I don't know if I should go through there. That's a room with some kind of marker. That's not very promising.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Oh. What happened? My violent death?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Alright, yeah, we'll follow what he says. Because I think since there is a couple different endings, maybe it'll give me the chance to play back through instead of starting all the way over.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Yeah, I think he is following whatever I'm saying, or whatever I'm doing.
Nope, still on board with death?
Yeah, he is. There's got to be a bunch of hidden stuff all throughout the game that, Alright, well, I can't go back that way.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Maybe. Have you ever seen The Matrix? I think this is where the architect is.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true
Yes.
nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I think this is my office right here. The one in the middle of the screen. 427. Where'd he go? Yeah, right there. Yep, that's my office. Alright, so Apparently, there's been a lot of... Oh, that guy got fired. That guy's a pirate. He got fired too. So apparently there's a lot of people that are missing. And I'm the only one, I guess, alive.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Alright, what is this place?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
None of these doors are open. I wonder if these numbers go to anything. Nothing. This is a weird little building here. I want to push that, but I think I'm gonna wait. We'll see what happens when I get inside here. Mind control's idle. Is this really where the power is for this entire building in here?
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
I guess he got a choice. Is it the wrong choice? What's happening?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine! Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Or is this it? Is this the end of the game?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I'm guessing that's the end of the game. I think that was it. That's a pretty straightforward storyline. The end is never. Well, alright guys, apparently that wasn't the end of the game. But I guess I'm gonna stop it here, and we'll continue back on the next part. Please like below and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you next time.